welcome to Coffee for Closers. This week, a very important episode here with Rick Kallmeyer in the studio. We've been jibber-jabbing for a good half hour here, but we do have a serious topic to talk about. The TSP starts its temporary suspension. So anybody in the federal space, but really anybody in retirement planning right now, if you're talking with anybody, any particular clients or people out there with TSPs, TSP is going to have a temporary shutdown or a temporary suspension of certain transactions starting May 16th until the first week of June. So we are today of this recording, May 10th. So in 6 days, there will be a suspension of certain transactions, as they said. Yep. But we're going to talk about all of the particulars of that. And it seems like it's almost staged to a degree. Like, so it says, and all of this is available on the TSP website. We'll make sure all of that is linked below, tsp.gov. It's /new-features/key-transition-dates. So if you got it memorized, go ahead and Google that. That link will be sent over to you, or in the link or in the description of this video, and you can read all the stuff we talk about right here on the show for yourself. Anyway, this came up. We talked about this on what week was that?
A couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah. I don't know if it was the closers or if it was one of the Fed Talks.
I think it was one of the weekly Fed Talks. We talked about it. I remember Calvin Bagley was on it with us, kind of commenting on some of it. And I tried to have not Calvin. It was Patrick. Yeah. We had Patrick on. I tried to have Patrick on the show, but to be honest, all this information is right on the on TSP. The gist of it is that TSP is updating the site, right? Yep. For the benefit of the employees, but it is going to be a temporary shutdown, and there's important things that will not be accessible during the time, just to make it easier and smoother of a process for them, because they're going to be really changing the whole interface for a lot of it. And so they don't need requests coming in for people to change accounts while they're trying to do this complete overhaul or trying to make up time during that time, right? Yep. So a lot of forms won't be accessible. A lot of changes won't be accessible. The allocation changes won't be accessible. And that's kind of crappy. Yep. And why it's so important that we talk about this, because the market is really taking a dive right now. Yep. And so if we're talking with people, I mean, a lot of your appointments coming up this week, next week, and the weeks following, or really this week, any appointments you have, what a great topic to be talking about. Yep.
Yeah, if you have old clients, old appointments that didn't run really well, this is a great topic.
And so we're turning this around immediately. I mean, so we're recording this right now. It's the 10th. We're going to get it out today or tomorrow, I want to say, tomorrow morning. And so that means there's 5-6 days for you to fix or reach out to those people, get them on the phone, drop a line in for them, make sure that they've got their ducks in a row, because here's what we got to know. Expected transition dates, May 16th to the first week of June. That's the full transition day. That's what they're expected. And they say expected because if there's any hiccups, it could be longer.
Does it say to or through first week of June?
To the first week of June. Okay.
Yeah. I would expect
they don't tell the exact date.
Yeah, I would expect more through the first week.
It could be the last day of that week. Anyway, all transactions will temporarily be unavailable from May 26th to the first week of June. All transactions. Yeah. Interesting. Full access and transactions restored the first week of June. Okay.
At some point during that week.
Some point during that first week. Contributions and payments will continue. Right. So if you're contributing during that period, during the transition period, your TSP savings will remain invested in the TSP funds you've chosen. Can't change your allocation preferences and stuff like that, but your contributions will dump into those allocations that you've dictated on your portal prior to that May 26th date. Okay. Payroll contributions and loan payments will continue. Installment payments scheduled to be paid May 24th through May 31st will be dispersed early on May 23rd.
So that's if you're taking, is that
installment payments scheduled to be paid May 23rd through May 31st will be dispersed early on the 23rd. So they're going to give you your payment early. Yep. So if you have like a scheduled distribution or withdrawal, and it's supposed to hit to your bank account, or it typically hits your bank account on the 24th, between the 24th and the 31st of a month.
Last day of the month or something.
Yep. It's going to hit your bank account on the 23rd this month of May rather than during that week. Mm-hmm. What's interesting is that it says all transactions will be temporarily unavailable. But when is the last day you can transition your allocation options? Let's see what it says on that. The transition period begins on May 16th, 2020 and ends the first week. Suspension dates for each transaction type will vary. So read carefully through the full calendar included on this page. We encourage you to consider whether the transition period will affect your retirement planning, especially if you are planning to request any transactions in the near future. Let's see.
Yes, I wonder too, as far as like TSP process, right? Like if you've initiated a transfer on the 25th or the 24th, are they going to issue that transfer, or are they going to hold that until the first week of June to get the funds out?
What was your question?
If you initiate a transfer on the 24th or 25th, so technically before the end date, right? End date is the 26th. So if you've initiated a transfer on the 24th or 25th, are they going to continue to satisfy that and like file the actual transfer of money during that time period? Or are they still just going to hold that transfer paperwork until beginning of June? You know what I'm saying?
Here's what. So let's answer one at a time, okay?
What?
Investments, okay? May 16th. The last day to complete your rollover or transfer request by submitting these forms and checks if applicable. Form TSP 60, request to transfer into TSP. TSP 60R, request for a Roth transfer into the TSP. Mm-hmm. We must receive your request and any checks from new and pending requests by this date. If we receive your information after this date, we won't be able to process your request. In that case, you'll need to submit a new request after the transition period ends at the first week of June.
So what was the date on that? 16? Okay.
May 26th at noon. Last day to make investment transactions, including inter-fund transfers and changes to contribution allocation. So that answers that one question I had. Yep. The 26th is the last day for you to make adjustments to your account in TSP. So if they need to change money to G Fund, or they move it back into the market, or whatever they want to do, it'll be the last day until the first week of June for them to do it on the 26th. So by noon on the 26th. Loans, I mean, not a lot there, but I don't really want to spend too much time on loans.
No, loans is like you're still going to pay into that. So yeah, I think that said it'll run as is.
May 16th, so my account, May 16th, last day to access online tools in my account to make transaction requests, including taking a loan, withdrawal, or distribution requests, right? Mm-hmm. So withdrawal would also include transfers. Mm-hmm. So you can't transfer outside after May 16th.
Okay.
Last day to access online tools in my account to make transaction requests. And that does not include interfund transfers. Mm-hmm. Okay. So including loan, withdrawal, and distribution requests.
Yeah, so probably it's on the 16th, right? That gives them a week to process it, or 10 days. 26 is everything shut down, right? Mm-hmm. So makes sense.
So my account last on the 26th. Okay, so let's continue on the 16th for my account. Last day to upload forms and documents in my account. May 16th also is the last day to use the Secure Message Center to submit account-specific inquiries. After this date, the Secure Messaging Center will be read-only until the 26th. And messages will not transfer to the new system after the transition period.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's just like the little chat window they're talking about there. May 26th at noon, last day to access online tools in my account to make investment transactions.
Yep.
So last day to access online tools in my account to make investment transactions, including interfund transfers and changes to contribution and allocations. We already talked about that. May 26th at 6 p.m. Interesting. Last day to make profile changes in my account. So that's changing your profile picture and no, I'm just kidding. including changes to contact information and profile picture.
Yeah.
Where you went to high school.
Yeah. Address.
Your top 10 friends.
Top 10 friends. Yeah.
Of course.
Got to get those right.
No. Thrift line and other correspondence. That's fine. Whatever. Withdrawals and distributions. Okay. So this is important. April 29th at 9 p.m. Last day to request paper forms if unable to access online tools in My Account through the thrift line.
Okay.
So age-based in-service withdrawal requests. So TSP 75, TSP 76 financial hardship in-service withdrawal request. TSP 95 changes installments. TSP 99 withdrawal request for separated or beneficiary participants. So that's the last day for you to access online stuff to make those withdrawals.
I think it was paper.
Or in paper. I'm sorry. Paper request. That was the 29th. Date's already passed.
Yep.
May 16th is the last date to complete withdrawal requests. Online tools in My Account will be available until 11:59 p.m. on the 16th. We must receive your requests and any supporting documents for new and pending requests by this date. If we receive your information after this date, we won't be able to process your request. In that case, you'll need to submit a new request after the transition period ends for the first week of June.
Yep.
So you have to not only have started the request, but also have uploaded the signed notarized documents back into it in order for them to process the withdrawal that you requested on the 16th. It needs to be done by the 16th, or nothing will happen. To answer your question, nothing will happen until after that first week, where you'd have to go back in, get it re-notarized, do all of that pain again.
So theoretically, too, you'd have to have whatever, if you're doing an annuity application, right? You'd have to have the annuity app done as well. Request sent, right? Like you'd have to have a policy number for the transferred paperwork.
Well, who's going to send it?
Yeah.
It's going to be the financial. I mean, typically you're going to have the carrier send in the transfer request, right?
Yep.
Unless the agent's taking care of that.
Yep. So it's a lot of work to get done in 6 days.
Look, I mean, we would have loved to have had this information to you guys 2 weeks ago, but it is just coming out in the last week.
Yeah, I mean, they still haven't released most of the mutual fund stuff, like all the changes they're actually making to it.
Well, okay, so they've also find out about changes to TSP investments coming in June. Investments. The low-cost TSP funds you know and love will stay the same, and your TSP savings will remain invested in the funds you've chosen unless you request a change. You're also adding a new investment option through TSP Mutual Fund Window, personalized support for rollovers to your TSP account, and a new way to move money within your TSP account, which would just be easy.
Standardized stuff.
Probably easy to understand. Yeah, stuff that the private sector has been using forever.
Yep.
The Mutual Fund Window, as it describes. The mutual fund window is designed for TSP participants who are interested in greater investment flexibility. If your account meets certain eligibility criteria, you can choose to access a selection of more than 5,000 mutual funds. As with most mutual funds, this flexibility comes with fees. They say it right there on top of it. $55 annual fee to ensure that you use the mutual fund window, or the use of the mutual fund window does not indirectly increase TSP administration expenses for TSP participants who choose not to use the mutual fund window. So they're passing that entire fee on to the people that choose to use it. I like that. $95 annual fee for maintenance. A $28.75 per trade fee. So every time a trade's made,
$25.
$28.
Wow.
Per trade fee, and other fees and expenses specific to the chosen mutual fund. So whatever their specific fees associated are with that mutual fund on top of that. Yikes.
Yeah. Welcome to mutual funds.
As opposed to I'll look up the fees associated with the TSPC fund real quick. Let's see what the actual fund.
I think it's 0.04.
Let's see what the C fund costs. 4.3 basis points, 0.043%.
Yeah.
That's the fee associated with the C fund.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm guessing since they won't specify, they're probably just going to have a full open mutual fund window where, 5,000 funds, it's got to be just like an open market style of your major Vanguard, standard private sector mutual funds.
Yeah. Right. It's going to be all your cookie cutter stuff that probably every RIA out there offers, all the BlackRock stuff, all of the, Vanguard stuff. Yeah. That's all going to be.
I can't wait to find a federal employee that's in a S&P mutual fund paying ridiculous fees.
That's going to be the problem.
That's going to be the problem.
Is they're going to see a brand like BlackRock, or they're going to see a brand like Vanguard. And they're going to go through and they're going to pay the Vanguard fees on top of, which aren't much, but Vanguard S&P 500 fees plus the whatever per
mutual
trade
fund
fee
window fees
and the Windows fees and all that stuff, which may be nominal for some people, but they could have just had the C fund too.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to be around to help them with it, right? So it's like nobody's sitting at the TSP.gov or TSP office advising them on who or what they should pick out of these 5,000 options. If anything, it just convolutes things more.
Yep.
And makes it a little more expensive for those people that want to go outside.
Yeah.
And, pretends like they've got more options now and there's every reason to stay with TSP. Yeah. The truth of the matter is most people still feel like leaving TSP is the best decision for them. Yeah. Here's some other important things for people to notice concerning this TSP, what are they calling it? Transition or temporary suspension. During the transition period, your savings will remain invested in the TSP funds you've elected. However, to ensure smooth transition, we will suspend account transactions, access to online tools, access to forms, and correspondence for a brief period. These transactions and services will include the following: beneficiary designations, court order requests, form submissions, investment transactions, loan requests, my account access, thrift line service, and withdrawal and distributions. And we talked about a bunch of those, but what I think is pretty important is that beneficiary designation thing. So what it says about beneficiary, on May 16th will be the last day to use the online tool in My Account to generate a filled TSP3 designation of beneficiary form. Last day to upload forms into My Account, also that May 16th. Court orders, May 26th, last day for TSP to receive retirement benefit court orders.
Yeah.
Last day for TSP to receive child support court orders, May 26th. I mean, it's maybe less specific to what we're dealing with, but
beneficiaries would be a bigger one over like a Qdro or something like that.
Yeah.
Quadro.
And so, anyway, there's tons of more information in this. They're also starting a TSP mobile app. Ooh. Starting in June, you'll be able to download and use the official TSP mobile app for on-the-go access to your TSP account. With the TSP mobile app, you'll be able to do just about everything you can do when you sign in through the TSP website. Monitor your TSP account and complete transactions from anywhere, anytime. Along with checking your account balance, tracking fund performance, and making transaction requests, you'll be able to sign and submit forms and documents, change your investment allocations, scan rollover checks, and more. You'll have access to TSP around the clock with a virtual assistant called AVA or AVA and a live chat feature that'll connect you with the thrift line representative online during business hours. To add an extra layer of security, you'll be able to you'll have the option to log in with your device's biometrics, such as your fingerprint or facial recognition. How much you want to bet that the only thing that you can't do on this mobile app
transfer money out?
Is transfer
That's
money
exactly
out.
what I was thinking.
How much do you want to bet?
I was trying to think.
We will tell you if we find that out, but I'll bet you my bottom dollar that is the one thing that you can't do.
I was trying to think of like maybe they could offer like a mobile notarization form or something like that. Like trying to.
But here's my thing with those things: is like, okay, if you got an app and you've got a notary aspect of it, like how long before they just use the facial recognition to accomplish
that's a good point. Yeah, right. I got your fingerprint and your facial recognition. Why doesn't it count for notarization?
Notaries, you're on the chopping block for getting your jobs taken by Siri or whatever Android thing.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
It's
Hopefully,
interesting.
It sucks they're going to have to shut everything down, which makes obviously everybody's life more difficult. But
it just means at the end of this month, it's like we better have a plan. You're either moving stuff right now and getting stuff done right now, or you're going to at least be the smart person that's not letting your clients or potential prospects know about this shutdown and making yourself look smart as heck.
Mm-hmm.
So, key transition dates, May 16th. It's going to be the start of all this stuff. There's certainly some forms that will no longer be accessible by then.
Yep.
May 26th is kind of like that cutthroat. Pretty much everything's going to be done by the end of that day. And then we're back up and running by the first week of June, one of the days during that week.
Yep.
So, doesn't mean we shouldn't be running appointments. Doesn't mean we shouldn't be talking with folks. Doesn't mean we can't be moving forward with stuff. It just means that we need to be properly disclosing to our clients how setting expectations. So if I need to close business during that time.
Fantastic pitch, right? You're sitting with your client saying, hey, look, wonderful you don't have to retire right now, but how terrible would it be if you had to retire within these 2 weeks? You can't access your money.
Yeah. What if it was that you were retired?
Yeah, they're going to pay you your check first, but what if you had to move money around, right? Like, this isn't your
But here's the thing.
money.
What if you were retired? You don't work with me. You're not working with an FRC.
Yep.
And this is the kind of stuff that happens when an employer is managing, or a former employer is managing your money for you. It's they shut things down to update things. They shut things down to become more competitive or do whatever they got to do. They're not going to call you and tell you about this thing. They may have sent you a letter, but God knows you're retired, so you're not paying attention to all this stuff. Maybe not as much as you should be. And so you don't realize that all of these things are going to be shut down. And the market goes to hell in a handbasket like it has in the last couple of weeks. And here we are.
You know who isn't also paying attention to it? If your brother's cousin, nephew is managing your money and doesn't focus on federal benefits and isn't paying attention, right?
These are the kind of things that they don't know about that an FRC does and will always know about because we have a team behind us, right?
Yep.
Anyway, very interesting stuff about the TSP. Again, all the information that we got from this show or for this show available right on the TSP website in the link in the description below of this email or in this this video, as well in the email that got you to this video as well. The promotion, it'll be in there as well. Make sure Dylan puts that in there. And yeah, if you have questions, you reach out to us. Or if you can't find that link, you let us know. Give Megastar a call.
Anything at all.
Just a quick PSA, Coffee for Closers for you this week. We thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you right here next time on Coffee for Closers. Take care.
Dadgummit, who is he and what?